And welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners meeting February 8th, 9 a.m. Call this meeting to order. If you will, please silence your phones or any other electronic devices. If you will, please stand for the invocation given by Mr. Bill Gregory and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. For all of us each one of us, Lord, in this county, thank you for our communities coming together this past couple of weeks after the tornado that came through, Lord. I just pray that each of these county commissioners, Lord, as they deliberate the needs of our county, Lord, and stuff. Pray that you continue to be with us as we go our way, separate ways this afternoon, this evening. We think that as Christ goes upon. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Next item is to adopt the agenda. We do need to amend the agenda under appointments to add item number 3. Appointment to the Hospital Authority for a second appointment. And under new business, item number 6, approved letter to Natural Resources Conservation Service as part of the dam breach analysis and allow the chair to sign. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda with the changes?
So moved with the changes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Motion a second. All in favor? Motion carries. All right, next item is presentations. We have Ms. Monica Miles, representative from the U.S. Small Business Administration, to discuss disaster loan program. If you'll just come up to the podium.
Okay, good morning. My name is Monica Miles. I am a public affairs specialist with the U.S. Small Business Administration. The SBA wants everyone in Meriwether County to know that if their home business or nonprofit organization was damaged as a result of the severe storms and tornadoes that occurred on January 12th of this year, that they can apply for an SBA loan. In addition, if their business or nonprofit organization is not able to meet its ordinary and necessary financial obligations as a direct result of the disaster, they can also apply for an SBA economic injury disaster loan as well. With respect to homeowners can apply for a loan up to $200,000 to repair, replace their home that was damaged as a result of the storm. Homeowners and renters can apply for a loan up to $40,000 to repair or replace their personal property, such as their furniture, their appliances, clothing, and even a vehicle that may have been damaged as a result of the recent storm. With respect to businesses and nonprofit organizations, they can apply for loans that total up to $2 million. And that can consist of repair and replacing the real estate that was damaged, furniture, inventory, supplies, equipment, vehicles, things that were necessary and owned by the business. And in addition to that economic injury disaster, which is where, say, the business had to close for a few days or so because people could not access the business, the workers couldn't come to the business, things of that nature where they lost income. In addition, the SBA has mitigation loans in order for people and businesses to build back better, maybe be able to get a better type of roof structure or something of that nature, so that if this type of weather event happens again, hopefully the damage would be no damage or less damage. And with respect to a litigation loan, that can be an additional amount to the regular loan, but up to 20% of the verified property damage can possibly be approved by the SBA in order for the homeowner or the business or nonprofit organization to build back better. The loan terms are very excellent. No payments for the first year. No interest will accrue for the first year. And most loans have a term of up to 30 years to be paid back. With respect to the interest rates, they're very low. Homeowners and renters, their interest rate is as low as 2.313%. Nonprofit organizations have an interest rate of 2.375% on the loans, and businesses have an interest rate as low as 3.305%. In order to apply for the loan, people can just go actually across the street to the West Georgia Technical College located at 17529 Roosevelt Highway here in Greenville. The center is open every day of the week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. FEMA is also located at this building, and the SBA does ask its applicants to first register at FEMA, and then you can go down the hallway and meet with the SBA and actually submit an application for a loan. If people are not able to come in or want to apply online, they can go to sba.gov/disaster and submit an application for a loan. Again, we do ask people to go to FEMA's website first or to call FEMA and register. And part of the SBA application does ask for the FEMA registration number, so that would be very helpful. FEMA can be accessed at disasterassistance.gov or by telephone at 1-800-621-3362. Third alternative, if somebody wants the SBA to mail them an application, they can call the SBA at 1-800-659-2955. And again, right here in Meriwether County, they can go over to the across the street at the technical college and submit a loan application as well. Staff are there to actually do that for them. They'll ask them the questions and then the information will be entered on the application. Now, the deadline to apply for any kind of loan is SBA loan as a result of damages, whether it's to the home, personal property, a business, or a nonprofit organization, is March 17th of this year. So that deadline is approaching. With respect to the businesses that might have an economic injury damage as a result of not being able to pay their regular bills, that deadline is not until October 16th. Now, once people apply for an SBA loan, we try to get it processed as soon as possible. Usually any kind of delay is when the applicant hasn't submitted all of their paperwork. But once the SBA has the paperwork, they usually get a decision within 2 to 3 weeks. And then once the loan documents are signed, usually they can get their first amount of funds, which is generally up to $25,000 within about 5 days. So that is the loan process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any commissioners have any questions?
Okay, all right, thanks.
So they will only be at the West Georgia Technical until March 17th doing the application?
We're not really sure of the date. Not a lot of people have actually applied in Meriwether County just now. So far in the state of Georgia, the SBA has approved almost $1.9 million in loans. And we just want to really make sure that the public is aware of this program.
Now, we can either come down and know that you need a picture, or you can come stand with us and we'll get Beverly to take a picture, however you want to do it.
Okay, whatever is the easiest, that would be great.
You want to come just stand right here with all of us and Beverly or get it in?
Okay. Oh, you're gonna take it on your phone. That's probably quicker because this is kind of slow moving. All right, okay. This is my documentation that I was here.
He has to have it. Have us stand right here. You're good to go.
Come on in.
Get all of us.
Very small. Okay, I gotta come. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
I don't smile in any picture.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's so much.
All right, we'll move to the next item on the agenda, and that is for the finance report. Mr. Bill.
Mr. Chair, I have the reports and some of you. Bank balances continue to look strong. The animal shelters, approaching 40 grand on that, so it's about the time to purchase some more equipment up there, truck or whatever they might need. Again, the rest of the balances look good. If we look, notice about halfway down the page, the general fund, local government investment pool, sitting at 4 million, that plus the general fund amount, that's about 7 million we got sitting in the general fund, which will that lasts us to the end of the year. It was still in good shape. And the other pages are just the spliced and T-spliced receipts for the past January 31st. And again, we received, I think this might have been the highest amount we received on the spliced. I think it was 157,000. The county's T-spliced 132,000, which is the largest amount we received today on T-spliced as well. So that continues to look really good, and we're excited about that. But those Dollar Generals keep on pumping out the sales tax.
Thank you very much.
And the gas stations as well. And that's all I got unless you have any questions.
Any commissioners have any questions? All right. Do we have anyone signed up for citizen comment? Okay. Next item is the minutes from January 24, 2023, 6 p.m. meeting. You all should have had time to read over those. If so, are there any changes that need to be? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept minutes as they are?
So moved.
Have a motion, to have a second? Second. Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. No need for public hearing. Next item is for appointments. Item number 1, Lake Meriwether Advisory Board, confirmation of an appointment from the city of Woodbury to fill a term that will expire will expire January 28, 2025. I did speak to the city of Woodbury, and I would like to make a motion for Jada Holmes to be reappointed to that board. And I put that in the form of a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. All right, item number 2, appointment to the hospital authority. There are actually 2 of these. The first is, do you want to do this or me?
It doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Rusty Houston. She is actually a longtime resident of Meriwether County. She is a pharmacist here. And that came from the hospital authority board's request to appoint her. Was there anything you needed to add?
And that will be filling the position that was previously served by Dr. Alan Thompson.
So do I have a motion to appoint Rusty Houston to fill the place of Dr. Thompson? I have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, appointment to the hospital authority for Cordes Warrior. Cordes is actually a city council person in the city of Manchester. I've known him for quite some time too. He'll make a good for that board. Do I have a motion to accept Cordes to the hospital authority? Do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. All right, next item is unfinished business. Acceptance of the ROW deed and bond for Chambliss Village subdivision, TRG GC Chambliss Investors LLC and Perrin Homes LLC.
Thank you, Chairman. This was on our agenda our last meeting as well. There were some suggestions from legal for some items to be changed. We received those back late yesterday, so legal will still need to review them to make sure that they're good. But once those are reviewed, we'd ask for the board to go ahead and approve it after the review of legal.
Hearing that, do I have a motion to accept with the changes pending legal?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is new business. Item number 1, replacement of Mitcham Road Bridge over CSX and elimination of Silver Street grade at crossing.
Thank you, Chairman. Back in November, Bill Cawthorn Theron and myself met with CSX. They have engaged with Crouch Engineering to replace this bridge. And they're going to also do the approaches, but Meriwether County will be responsible for the cost of the road construction at the roadway as it approaches the new bridge. The estimate on that is about $200,000. Staff's recommendation is to approve the possible elimination of Silver Street grade crossing and construction of the new roadway approaches.
That is the county's recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Any commissioners have questions?
What does possible elimination mean? I mean, we either eliminate it or we don't. What does possible?
Bill Cawthorn,
What was
do
that?
the possible elimination, that's just how it was worded. It is going to improve the grade. You know, of course, they can't say 100% improvement of that grade.
Yeah, they're gonna apply for a grant, federal grant which is in that grant eliminates grade crossings.
Mhm.
So their proposal is to build a whole new bridge replace the wooden Mitcham Road Bridge and then close the Silver Street grade crossing in Durant. And that'll leave the County Line Church still open. And then in that grant, if the grant is accepted and it moves forward, the county will be responsible for repairing and paving the new approaches to the new bridge. And they think this will take some 3 years to even come to fruition.
So the plan is to close Silver Street crossing,
Yes,
not five.
Permanently or just temporarily?
permanent. It's a grant to eliminate any grade crossings because they're not signalized. It's just a stop sign and crossbar. And there's 2 right there in the city or in the little township of Durant.
So really in a hardship for traffic or people, they can just.
No, I've been down to see it. It's not.
Yeah, it's in your packet as well.
And
Yeah.
those streets all interconnect to County Line Church.
Just so I understand, the bridge is going to be reopened, the Mitcham, until the grant is applied for,
Yes.
approved.
This week.
Okay, that's what,
And that's under so it's restricted.
okay,
But the Georgia Department of Transportation came and did a re-inspection about a week ago. And then they called and we should be receiving a letter any day telling us that we can reopen that bridge now.
So do we have to close any part? Do we have to make the motion to close it or can they do it?
No, what they're wanting is the county to agree to pay that up to $200,000.
Commitment
A
to
commitment.
take care of the roadway to the new bridge.
If they receive this grant, which they feel confident they will, it will replace the bridge.
And when do they think that they would start?
They said 3 years.
No, start. They would start it in 3
It
years.
would take 3 years to be started.
so
So this a
Funds are
grant
committed.
process they have to go through.
my understanding, the funds would be committed today, but there's no expenditures until the grant is approved and the
That's right.
work begins, right?
And if it doesn't get approved, it won't take place.
So we just have to make the commitment.
It's just a
to-
commitment that the county would
Is it,
agree to participate in this project.
Is the grant process going to take 3 years?
They said it would take about 3 years for construction, wasn't it, Michelle?
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
3 years for construction.
For construction to start.
The only thing is we could approve the 200,000, but I don't want to give a funding source yet because we don't know. And that's 3 years down the road. So we may have to leave that open for the commissioners at that point to pull it with 3 years. By the time they start, it would have to be committed 3 years. So,
I think they're just
The
looking
grant-
more for a commitment.
right.
Yeah, mid-year this year.
So when do they have
They
to
can
have the
apply for the
decision?
grant
today?
Mid-year 2023, but they need to know that if they apply for this grant or approve for this grant and replace this bridge, that the county will commit to the 200,000.
And they don't have a real dollar figure yet. It's just.
And that's an estimate.
I just wanted to put it on the table that we don't need to do a funding source. We can approve that now, but we need to leave that up to the board at that point in 3 years when it comes to it, because we don't know what we'll need out of our current funds. We can.
They're just kind of looking for a commitment that the county would support this project.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's more, the way materials go up, I think they put a number on it now, and 3 years from now, it's gonna be way more than that.
Well, it may be 125,000 today, and with a projection, they're just doing up to 200,000 for the increase. So
They're
that
gonna put a single span bridge in there, so there'll be no pilings and stuff like it exists now.
Any other questions? All right. What's the pleasure of the board? Do we have a motion to commit to up to $200,000 with no referral source today?
I'll make a motion under those conditions.
Have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Bill, remember that in 3 years. That bill. You already old. All right. Next item, number 2, confirmation of letter in support of the Coweta County Development Authority's application for One Georgia Edge funding to locate Friar Battery US LLC to the Bridgeport South site in Moreland, Georgia, and allow chair to sign. Do I have a motion? Sure.
Just to educate me since I'm new, it says Coweta County Development Authorities and so forth. Why are we even gonna, I mean, how does that work? Why are we even okay or approving or confirmation something that's not in our county?
Three Rivers or DCA will ask us to send letters of support for our partnering counties.
I assumed that it wasn't on here, so I was right. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we in, so?
It does look good.
Okay.
All right, have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, budget amendment number 1. Jay or Mr. Bill?
Mr. Bill.
Commissioners that were on the board back in, when the budget, we did the budget. Both of y'all will remember that we had a lump sum amount in human resources for the merit raises that were proposed to give the employees at January 1st. This exercise, the next 2 pages, is transferring that money from that single line item in human resources to each of the departments' regular employees line item. Just to move those funds over to where they need to be now, that the merit raises were
Okay.
given.
Strictly housekeeping, right?
Housekeeping, yes, ma'am.
Any questions? All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the budget amendment number 1 as stated by Mr. Beal?
So moved.
Huh? I don't have to sign that. Do I? Oh, y'all need to put that on here for now. And allow the chair to sign. I don't know what I have to sign, what I don't. Do I have a motion to amend it?
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. All right, next item, ACCG 2023 GCIP grant probate court internship.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. This is for probate court. Last year, they also had an intern in the probate court. It turned out to be it went really well. It was actually a write-up in ACCG regarding the probate court intern. This year, we have received it for probate court, and the next item is Superior Court. But this is just part of the process, is to get the board's approval.
Any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept for the probate court internship? And allow the chair to sign.
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item, ACCG 2023 GCIP grant for Superior Court internship. Same thing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion to accept and allow the chair to sign? Motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 6, approved letter to Natural Resources Conservation Service as part of the dam breach analysis and allow the chair to sign.
Mr. Cawthorn is here to answer any questions, as well as I will try to. However, we have engaged with Peoples and Quigley to do the dam breach analysis at Lake Meriwether, for those of you that were not here last year. Part of what needs to be done is the preliminary projects sketch, and that consists of installing a wave projection parapet wall that's 3 feet tall along the upstream side of the dam crest. And this will help provide adequate freeboard during the design storm, which is what's needed to happen. Peoples and Quigley went to send this letter to EPD, but since the state conservation engineer of natural resources was involved, we need to send a request to them first, just to follow the process. So this is the request, as well as needing a signature from the chair.
Any cost to the county?
Only what's in, there will be costs coming regarding the 3-foot wall that we have to build,
Okay.
but we are unaware of what that is at this point in time. We'll bring that before the board, but that is for us to come into compliance.
Any
Did I
commissioners?
miss anything, Bill?
Yeah, it's kind of puzzling to me, but I thought they were looking to increase the flow because of the spillway was high, and it's right the opposite. The spillway is 8 foot above the water level, and they say there's not adequate freeboard to handle a 100-year storm. That's why the people quickly said our only option is to put in a 3-foot splash wall across the top of the dam. next to the road to comply with the safe dam requirements.
That's something that's fitted out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is just in the stage for review to see whether the Georgia EPD DNR will approve this. And it's part of the requirements to get our permit. All category 1 dams have to have a permit. We do not have a permit. And there's 2 category 1 dams in Meriwether County. And there's a lot of category 2, but there's only 2 category 1s.
Do we know what we're looking at financially?
They estimated 300,000 in construction.
And I don't think we really have a choice, do we?
No, we're kind of under
Federal.
the consent through the state to comply and get this permit and have an emergency plan and dam breach analysis and all that. And people at Quigley have performed all that. Now they're ready to make a recommendation to the state.
Any commissioners have questions?
There's a timeline on this.
Or
How quickly would this happen?
they want to get this letter signed so we can send it to the NRCS. And then if they approve it, then it can be submitted to EPD, but EPD will not review it until this letter is sent to the NRCS. He had the construction schedule for completion would be in January of 2024. So starting the process here in January of 23, and then it kind of keeps going until 24 completion.
So this would be an expense we'd have to incur in the next 12 months.
Yes, sir.
But once we have that, we'll come back to the board and bid it out as necessary.
Any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve and allow the chair to sign? Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. All right, thank you, Mr. Bill. Thank you, Michelle. Next item is report from County Administrator.
Well, thank you, Chairman and Board. It's funny because the first thing I was going to update you on was Peoples and Quigley, but it actually kind of changed yesterday afternoon because we learned that we had to send that letter of support to Natural Resources. So moving on, there is a change in date as well as a change in name for the legal organ in Meriwether County. I don't know if you all are aware of that or not. It will now be the Manchester Star Mercury. And the publication will be on Wednesday. The date that if you want to put anything in the paper, it will need to be received at their office no later than 3 p.m. on Monday, which we most of the time take care of those things, obviously, but just wanted to let you guys know that. I reported at our last meeting that the water leak at the health department had been fixed, but I'd like to report as well that the water leak at DFAX has been fixed. We've also received the work authorizations through ACCG Insurance, and we have signed those, and we will be moving forward with those with principal. LMIG funding has been received, so that was applied for, and we did receive the funding for that. As you all approved, we have the 2 interns, which is very exciting. We had a meeting yesterday with Safe Built because we had received a letter that we were going to discontinue services in Meriwether County. We had a very good discussion, and they did say that they will be sending a contract over because our contract expires in March. There could be an increase in the cap of what they've had in the previous contracts since there has been an uptick in the workload. So that should be coming soon to you all.
Let me stop you right there. So they're going to send over a new contract.
Yes, sir.
We probably need to put out for a proposal to see if we can get additional services in the county just besides them. We probably need to put that out for cost. See if we can't get a lower amount from another company.
Thank you.
Mhm.
As I said before, the work authorization has been signed for DFAX in the health department, and Lake Meriwether Advisory Board will meet the 13th at 6 o'clock. And I'm pretty sure that that is all I have. I do know Brent is here, and I haven't received any updates from EMA. I'm not sure if he has anything he'd like to share with the board.
Sure. Move slow as one.
Tomorrow we will meet with FEMA as far as the physical assistant, or excuse me, the assistance side of us recovering our money. that was spent during the initial response, as well as debris. So far, we are approved to look at categories A and B, which is basically debris and emergency response for that night. So this is where the paperwork really starts and has to be on point. Additionally, we've closed the distribution point up here at the DFAX and have kind of just scaled that way back to just people as a one-on-one basis based on what they need. Like I said, right now we're in full recovery mode at this point. FEMA's here. They've pretty much taken on most of the duties as far as meeting with the public and seeing what they need. Other than that, do I have any questions? No.
For everything,
All
Brent.
right, you bet. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item is report from the county commissioners. Commissioner Collins. You have anything?
I just like to thank the county employees for all the work they've done and just that I keep getting lots of calls on the roads.
All right, Commissioner Plant.
I can say ditto, getting lots of calls on the roads. And of course, I appreciate all the work Public Works is doing. And it will take the county a while to get everything cleaned up, especially when it comes to right of way and uprooted trees and things like that. But the staff is doing a great job. I appreciate all the work and just appreciate everything that has been done. And Brian, I give you kudos for heading this disaster relief up, but I know that you've had quite a bit of support too. So with that being said, just thank you to all the county employees for all the work, as well as the volunteers and people that have come in from outside the county as well. So I just appreciate it. That's it for me.
Commissioner King.
About the same thing. I get a lot of calls on the roads too. Maybe the county ought to start buying a lotto ticket every week. And if we eventually win one, we can get everything taken care of, but we don't have the funds. But the main thing, Barry Lucas not here today, but Bill and Carl Thorne and Barry Lucas have been doing great, because when the people do call me and then I forward it on to them, in fact, I shared it with Beverly, told her to send it back. These folks are taking time to send emails and text messages, thanking us for getting out there and taking care of it, saying, please tell the guys that were out here, they did an excellent job. So I make sure that gets forwarded back to the leadership to tell the employees so they know they're appreciated. But yeah, it's been great. They call, I report it. Next thing I know, they're calling me and going, hey, it's already taken care of. Thanks. So I think everybody's trying to work together, but I did explain to them to bear with us because we've had a lot of rain and we have already had bad roads. And then with the tornado stuff too, and we're short on help. We're trying to do the best we can. So, but as long as we're getting something done where they can see it, it makes them feel a whole lot better.
Commissioner Worsley.
Same as everyone else, a lot of calls about roads, bridges. So thank you for what you are doing, and we'll continue to talk, I guess. And then several calls about the Safe Built program. So there's some concern around it from local contractors. It'd be good to have to see what the proposal is in the next conversation on that. Thank everyone for the hard work you're doing on the roads and in the storm recovery. So good job.
Thank you very much. Pretty much the same for me, but I do want to state to Brand, do we have a list of names of everyone who actually helped yet? Okay, can you provide that to Michelle?
Are you referring to individuals or?
The first day that we were there, everyone that came in, all the state, all the county, all the cities that came in to help us that day, we need a list because we do want to recognize them because we had a lot of outside help that came in to help us. So also we probably, and we may already have it, need to compose a list of all the dirt roads in the county and the last time that they were serviced, because I've actually been to 2 in your area this week. I'm going to talk to you about it. But they called me, so I went out and looked at it, and these ditches have not been pulled in years. These roads have not been scraped in years. So we need a list of roads. We need a list of when they were serviced last, and we need an expectation of when they'll be serviced next. And I have spoken to Mr. Bill about some this morning. So if we can get that, I think that will help us to stay ahead and be able to answer questions better for the citizens. And that's all I have. Next is the report from county attorney. Thank you. Do we have need for executive session?
Yes, sir, for litigation, personnel, and real estate.
Future meetings and notices, February 20th, 2023 will be closed for President's Day. February 28th, our regular meeting at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of litigation, personnel, and real estate?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are in executive session at 9:35. We came out of executive session at 10:46. Motion was made by Commissioner Collins, seconded by Commissioner King. Do I have a motion to go back into regular session?
Motion.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are back in regular session. Do we have anything else to come before the board? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We're adjourned.